Well, all right. Here we go. Wait. Yes, we're back. Hi, how are you? My camera's even remotely in the right position, I think. It's a little blurry. I can't tell if, there it is. It's a little better, I think. Can't tell if my camera's blurry or it's just my eyesight because I have a bit of a migraine today. It's fun. A little bit of a headache. There's nothing wrong with that. Happens occasionally. Haven't anybody? Sure. Hello. Good to see you guys. I'm today's 3 o'clock show, the regular one right now, which is live, and thank you for joining me, is going to be a relatively short one. I'm just going to go through a couple of things, and then I'm going to be back on later for the rally, because Trump is having a rally in Georgia. Brought to you, of course, by the lovely folks at, I don't know quite where we'll grab it from. There's multiple ways to get there. There's always Right Side Media, where they're currently using Super Chat on YouTube to launder hundreds of thousands of dollars in foreign currencies. What? Hey, it's nice work if you can get it. Hi. Gosh. I'm drinking out of my my girlfriend's Goofy cup right now. So hello and welcome, and glad you could be with us, and all sorts of fun stuff. That will be for later. You know me, I take those things as live. I'm sure it'll be a barn burner. I'm sure he'll come out and be coherent. And he's finally. This is the day Donald Trump becomes presidential, I think. Especially after, by the way, if I may, let me see this. See if I can find this one. This one's fun. Let's see. June 19th. So this is, there is a rumor that Trump will be playing golf at his Scottish resort, the one that's losing a ton of money and that he's been landing military planes at because whenever the military lands there, a lot of people are saying maybe he's leaving town, maybe he's skipping town, maybe he's getting out of there, maybe he's going to run off. I think we have extradition with Scotland Yard and Scotland itself even. So I'm fairly certain that that over the course of, somebody in his legal team has told him this. There's no way he thinks he's escaping by going to Scotland. He's clearly got to go to Myanmar or something. But insofar as, let's see, I'm going to open up the chat app. There we go, so I can see you guys. Insofar as this is an escape route, it'll be a pretty sound fail, right? But the obvious, thank you so much, Brian. Oh yes. My theory is that he's not escaping to Turnberry. This is his last chance to cash in. Turnberry has been losing money like crazy, and so this is really his last chance of dumping a shit ton of money into Turnberry his last day there. Because the very next day, he's no longer president. So by flying him there in Air Force One, and I guess they leave him, because unless he flies back in the same 24 hours to make the inauguration, he ain't president anymore. So that in and of itself is, a weird little, yeah, drop me off. I'll take my own plane home, right? Do I have cat hair on my chin? I don't think so. Although I was just nuzzling Murphy before I came out, so that is entirely possible. Scotland is on complete lockdown, but he would just be locked down at his Turnberry property. He wouldn't be able to go anywhere. But they would allow his planes to land. They've been doing all this. So this is the story, and there's a bunch around this. The Sunday Post in Scotland put this out, and it said, something strange is happening on the west coast of Scotland. According to a report from the Sunday Post, a lot of unusual U.S. military activity has been recorded at one airport that just so happens to be very close to President Donald Trump's flagship Scottish golf resort. In fact, the report states that Prestwick Airport has been told to expect the arrival of a U.S. military Boeing 757 plane, one that has reportedly been used by Trump before, on January 19th. If that date rings a bell, it's because it's the day before Joe Biden's presidential inauguration. The report also states that several U.S. military aircraft have been spotted carrying out surveillance above Trump's Townbury resort in the recent weeks, an airport source told the paper. The Sunday aircraft was based on Prestwick for about a week. It is usually a sign Trump is going to go somewhere for an extended period. Yeah. So while he's telling everybody, let me tell you this. While he's telling every one of these fuckers that he's going to fight to the end and it's all about, we're going to, stand up for all this, he's going to go... I gotta keep the accent going the whole time. He's gonna tell America that he's fighting for the last day and Georgia's the line, and tonight he's gonna do a big rally and tell everybody, you need to help us fight. So send your cash, as much of you got laying around, throw it into our coffers and pay us to fight for America and all that. Alrighty. He's gonna fuck off to Scotland on the 19th and pretend it never happened. Thank you. Did I misspell stars? Did I? Where on the that happens? I'm sorry about that. Fick it like that. You're over it. Okay, sorry. So thank you, Donna. So for the record, bless you, Barbara. Thank you. So this story's been going around. The Sunday Post talked about it in Scotland, and yeah. So they do all this kind of like lead in to let him know and all this stuff. There he is in his natural habitat, the Bigfoot picture that he likes to use. It's a better picture than the crawling one. That was in 2018 when he went to Turnberry, and we all paid for it. So surveillance planes fly around. They check the area. They send teams ahead because they're scouting it. They can send them there for weeks ahead of time. They pay to stay there because Scotland's on lockdown. It's a guarantee the money will go into the property. That's what I really think this is. I'm really convinced. That's what I think. I'm totally convinced that that's what this is. This is just a fucking money dump. Yeah, that's all that's happening, right, mate? No. What'll happen is depraved heart. That's funny. Depraved heart. Privy heart. Captain Alex, thank you. So I think that's really what this is about. He's not going to go. He can't hide in Scotland, but he can go make sure that the U.S. government dumps about $8 million into his property, which is failing, before he leaves. Hype train. Thank you very much, everybody who's with us on Twitch. And how did my Venmo thing get above my head? That's not right. Or maybe I just moved over. Yeah, maybe I'm normally... my seats got shuffled. I've been chasing cats around my office. All right, so couple of things. So the rally's coming up. Now, Lin Wood. Oh, lordy. So Lin Wood, do you guys know, the history of Lin Wood, by the way? Do you know, that he was, I think, the Richard Jules, one of Richard Jules' attorneys, that he's been kind of a gadfly around big name cases for a very long time, but effectively at some point snapped and he's gone nuts. And so his own, let's see if I can find the article on that one, law firm lawsuit that Lin Wood's he filed a let's see, Nick Sandman's attorney said God Almighty directed something. Yeah. Yeah, here it is. An attorney representing Nick Sandman has demonstrated erratic behavior and has said that he is directed by God Almighty. 3 former law partners allege in a lawsuit. Lin Wood, who is based in Atlanta, is being sued in Georgia State Court by the 3 attorneys who say they were his firm's former partners. By the way, they're trying to break off and the way they word it in their thing is that they're breaking up their old law firm, right? But the law firm itself is basically these three people and him. So they're all just breaking up their whole thing they're forming another law group without Wood attached. And so this is this process that how they have to file it to get away from this guy. They are all three of his partners are suing to get out of business with him. So among Wood's high-profile clients is Salmon, the Northern Kentucky teen who pursued lawsuits stemming from news coverage of him. That's from the kids who, the Covington kids. Wood is also representing Kyle Rittenhouse, the teen charged in the fatal shooting. Like, he just jumps around at these right-wing causes and basically either offers pro bono or semi-pro bono work, and all of his law partners have had, he's going to get money later after he sues people after the case is over. That's his sort of follow-up, it seems. But the attorneys allege that they left the firm in February because Wood's erratic, abusive, and unprofessional behavior. That alleged behavior included incoherent phone calls and emails from Wood, the lawsuit says. I am fighting for Nicholas Salmon, Kyle Rittenhouse, Carter Page, Simon Gold, Mark and Patty McCloskey. Like, this is it. And others, including my followers. After posting my statement below, I will focus my efforts on others. My attorney, blah, blah, will deal with this frivolous lawsuit. So they're just suing to get away from him. But basically, and there's some argument about, remember when Trump was like, if you get in a fight and you get sued, I'll pay for it? Remember that during his rallies, when he was saying that if you assaulted somebody, he'd pay the legal bills? That was apparently that pricked up Lin Wood's ears and made him jump at it. So, I mean, he's a goofy son of a bitch. So, anyways, that's kind of an ongoing thing. So, Lin Wood, for most of you who don't know, was also Herman Cain's attorney, which is, I think, the weird tipping point in all this. Considering, Swanton Girl. Did I miss that one? That's amazing. Thank you so much for gifting the sub to Grout Pump. I love reading people's names out on their online names out on camera because I can't be pronouncing maybe but 20% of them correctly based on what you want, and secondly, a lot of them sound quite offensive when mispronounced. So it's a good time. Yeah, that one, that 999. Yeah. So, anyways, Lin Wood was his attorney when, if you'll recall, Herman Cain was accused of having like this ongoing affair. Remember that business? Here, this is Pierce Morgan interviewing him.
Shockingly naive, Mr. Wood. With respect, you are being shockingly naive.
Let me tell you.
The idea that a presidential candidate can be paying a woman who claims to have had a 13-year affair. He admits to paying her.
By the way, if you pay a woman for an affair, it's no longer an affair. It's a business transaction. Let's just keep it. If you have a side piece on retainer, I mean, the nicest, but I guess sugar baby is kind of the nicest phrase for it. But good luck and God bless to anybody who creates an industry around that. But I'm just saying.
Money to calling you at 5 a.m., making repeated texts over a period when he's actually actively running for president. The idea none of this is remotely relevant is preposterous. You know it's a relevant thing. All I'm asking.
By the way, I love how Pierce Morgan, when he gets kind of like outraged, he starts to sound like a British chimney sweep character in an old Disney called, I thought it's preposterous. I can't believe it. Oh, those pets have run all over mother's carpet. Right. It's just fun.
I'm not saying he's guilty of anything. I'm just trying to get some...
Of anything? I'm not doing that at all. Oh, no.
Facts out of you. And the fact that you as his attorney know the answers but don't feel it's relevant to tell me the information...
Well, get used to that from Lin Wood.
...is in itself a little strange.
Thank you.
And a little strange is a great lead-in to the introduction to the world of Lin Wood.
I'm sorry if you find me naive or if you find my statements about Mr. Cain preposterous. What I find naive is the failure on the part of members of the media to be asking the tough questions of the accuser, someone who...
Yeah, why aren't you attacking the woman? Thank you, Lin Wood. Finally, someone has the. I mean, honestly, this is 2011, so it's sort of pre Me Too a little bit. So I get it. You know what I mean? But thanks for having the chutzpah. What's in my coffee mug? A coffee.
Who has obviously a troubled past.
Oh, yeah, obviously, because no one without a troubled past would have sex with Herman Cain. I think we're all in agreement on that. But for the record, the reason I'm bringing this clip up, and I'll continue to joke through the rest of it, and, my thoughts and prayers to Herman Cain's family, because he was lulled into a false sense of security about the president's rallies, and ultimately that's what killed him, is that this asshole, Lin Wood, is currently backing the president. He started out as this guy's attorney, and this guy is dead because he was at his current client's rally, that he caught COVID and or spread it at a Trump rally. He's dead. This guy is dead. Thank you, Boo. Aw, Boo. I mean, I'm just saying, in the full circle of full circling, this is pretty goddamn full circle. You know what I mean? Lin Wood is throwing everything against the wall to see what sticks to protect Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is the reason his original candidate is dead. He's dead. And this, all right, you get my point. I just think it's kind of, yeah, super spreader events. Exactly, Billy Hutchings.
Who has an incentive, potentially financially, to go out and to make these kinds of unfounded accusations. Why don't you look at your...
Well, they're founded on her personal experience. But please tell me about your all the what you call it, all the affidavits they have now.
...peers and the members of your media.
Say it one more time. He's dead. And he's dead because of that guy's new client.
And recognize that you, in fact, and the media are participating in the deterioration of our political process.
That's right. Piers Morgan, you Brit on CNN, you're just over here destroying democracy by wanting to know if a Christian right conservative who's running for president on the Republican side has had a side piece for 13 years that he didn't tell anybody about, while you guys want to moralize about Bill Clinton in perpetuity throughout the universe and elsewhere. That, how dare you bring that up, sir?
One's character should not be decided in a presidential campaign or in their own private lives without a look at the entire body of their life.
That's right. I completely agree. And if you look at the entire body of Lin Wood's life, since 2011, at least, when he came on the scene, he's been defending hidden extramarital affairs by religious conservatives. And now he is claiming that people like Isaac Cappy were murdered Seth Rich style to cover up pedivore conspiracy of cabals that are infiltrating that I can't even keep up. Oh, that's it? That's the end of it?
Right. We want to do that with you.
No, stop it.
We must set ourselves...
Pause. Oh, I see. That's what we went to. Okay, so the second one, that I'm only going to do about a half hour because this is a long... they do this every goddamn day. This is a show called The Victory Channel. You wonder where all this... Oh, yeah. Oh, you want to see the Lin Wood tweets? Okay. Yeah, let's tie those together, shall we? Holy hell. Okay, so... whoops. All right, there we go. Lin Wood, there he is. Okay, so if he's still up, I mean, like, have they taken... Nope, there, he's still there. Okay, so this is that jackass. This is the guy whose client was killed by the current president. And then he was like, oh, this guy's good. Total full-on wiggy-wugga, doing the wiggy-wugga, the gaga, the where we go one, we go all thing, right? World of the blocked. It's a hashtag, because if you're blocked, you can't have access to your account and therefore be blocked. Few things give me joy like right-wing tweets about their tweets being censored. I am being censored. Please retweet this. Right. Oh, yeah. Angels from Africa right now. Right. Oh, of course he's on Parler. Yeah. I mean, they all have to. That's their retreat fallback position. You got to have and I'm not against that, having a fallback position. Thanks, Twitch. Otherwise, we'd been screwed by the other stuff. But I honestly, it's like those folks. Where is it? Oh, shit. Did I close it? I may have. The people in, I'll do that later. I'll show you something later after when we do the rally and we're kind of killing time. So there's a bunch of stuff. Oh, he's got a new one up in the last 23 minutes. I've been failing on my Lin Wood watch, I guess. Many of you have previously seen this bath video. I will not repost it to avoid violation of Twitter rules. There are thousands of videos of pedophilia crimes committed by powerful people. Justice Roberts must resign immediately. The storm is coming. Cappy's last upload, Dead Man Switch. Now, this is where, for those of you who don't know, this guy, Isaac Cappy, killed himself. He jumped off a bridge. And before he jumped off a bridge, he wrote this letter. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I wasn't, expecting, yeah. Let's see. Let's go to the Sun. Yeah, here you go. He was an actor who was in, he had like bit parts in Thor, the original Thor movie, and a couple other things. And he jumped, I love how they put it in quotes, jumps to his death from bridge. I mean, you don't have to jump off a bridge. You just have to not stay on the bridge. But that semantic is for another time. Sad, clearly mentally ill, jumped off a bridge. There's always hope. Don't, right? But this guy had just before this happened, this is the guy that Lin Wood is talking about all the time, by the way. This is the dude. Whenever you hear him bring up, this is, yeah. So this guy, died in Arizona, jumped, he leapt from a bridge. That's, I think, the proper term for it or whatever. He was accused of assaulting Michael Jackson's daughter, Paris, at a party at Seth Green's house. They had game night. They would hang out and have game night. I've never been invited to these things, but then, of course, I'm not a pedivore, I guess. So, that's my one thing that's kept me out of the Hollywood elite. Apparently, is that if I was only a part of the Illuminati, I would have had pictures from this event. But, please, trolls, don't cease to accuse me of being part of the pedivore Illuminati. I appreciate the interest. I'm very glad. But that, so, all right. So, wait, an Amber Alert cut you off? How timely. This guy is the guy that he is referencing. So, Lin Wood is referencing this guy in all these videos. He's done a ton of these recently about Cappy. Cappy is his Seth Rich in this situation. Remember, Seth Rich was the DNC staffer who died, who was mugged and killed, and they were all like, he was the one who actually broke into the server. It wasn't the Russians. Seth Rich was the footnet that carried the information out, and they murdered him for it. Which, why are you murdering somebody for information that actually got out? Like if you were the one that somebody is sneaking something out of your house you don't want the public to see, you find them, and then you let the stuff out anyways. I don't get it's a bad plan. I'm just saying. And if you're as good as the Democrats are of big giant secret cabals as they're supposed to be, and it's so good that 8 volunteers in Atlanta can bring down the president of the United States, if you're that good. Anyway, so Lin Wood talks about this guy, Isaac Cappy, all the time. Isaac Cappy was under investigation for 2 things. He had recently, right before he leapt to his death from a bridge, he was accused of choking Paris Jackson by everybody there at that game night. He was choking her and had to be restrained, I suppose, or whatever. But it was an assault. She filed a complaint. it was for real. Normal processes happen. There was also a thing where he had tweeted or sent out a message that he was going, if they come after, where's the whole thing? He wrote a really terrible letter, like, kind of a confession letter before he did himself in. And before that, he had threatened to rain 50 caliber bullets on the Hollywood Hills if they came for him. This was because he believed the whole, pedivore cabal QAnon thing. He was full whizzy gaga. He was all in on that, right? And like he was a full-on believer of this thing. Clearly mentally ill. Again, this is sad. And yet, Lin Wood is taking advantage of this stuff. In his letter, he jumped and then he was hit by a passing car. Isaac Cappy, he lived in New Mexico, died on the scene. His death comes after he wrote a morbid post on Instagram discussing, quote, stark revelations about my character. He said, I have not been a good guy. I've betrayed many people and much trust. I have sold drugs. I have tax delinquencies. I have debts. I have abused my body with cigarettes, drugs, and alcohol, which I don't know why anyone deserves to die for that. But all of those things, you can come back from. You can be human. You're allowed. For everybody who's like, oh my God, I've done that. Yeah, don't do yourself in. You have worth. It's always been a strange thing to me. And maybe I watched too many monk movies as a kid, but, like kung fu movies specifically. But it always seemed to me that if you feel like you've completely fucked your life into a cocked hat and you feel like there's no end in sight, then allow who you were as a human to die in its own way. And let your body and your current soul and your recognition that you had been wrong and you had done wrong to spend the rest of your life making atonement for that thing. I mean, you don't have to do anything else. You can just go live in a commune somewhere and fix the gold leafing on a giant Buddha like Rambo did. You know what I mean? There's options. So, anyways, my point is, suicide is always and completely unnecessary, and you have worth even beyond your belief in your worthlessness. Always, 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 always hope. Always something for you left to give. Even if it means like, oh shit, I'm going to get caught, I'm going to prison for 8 years, then go to prison for 8 years. You'll be alive at the end of it, and you'll be a different person that can contribute. For crying out loud, man. The question I've always said is, would you give somebody the death penalty in prison, a stranger, for what you believe you deserve to die for? And the answer is always fundamentally no. So don't. Be more. You absolutely can. All right? Okay, so enough said. I just always, whenever this kind of stuff is brought up, it's kind of important to touch on that. He continued and said, while it's true I've spent many, many hours of research and disseminating information about bad actors, I have had so little care for my introspection of my own actions. Cappy also apologized to Donald Trump and Jesus for betraying them. His unaddressed note ended with, this lesson has come too late for me, but perhaps it can inspire you. I'll be using the remainder of my time on earth to atone for my transgressions and seek light within and others and myself. And then he didn't. But this is the person that he's talking about, just so you know, whenever he brings this up, right? So, yeah. So here's Ellen, and like, there's all this stuff like, if anything happens to me and I die, all this stuff's going to come out. Well, he passed away and nothing came out because it's all bloviating nonsense. There is no dead man switch. There was no dead man switch. There wasn't. So all right, it's just a terrible affirmation that Lin Wood is making about this poor man's suicide. It's gross. Is someone's So he overtweets himself nonstop. This dude writes on. Look at this. He writes on his own things. He does inverse threads all the time. This is so goofy. Oh, with his thanks, Jim. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything up here with you guys. So, he was in the Q sphere. He was totally a believer. There is no there. So they're all just like, it's a big human centipede of garbage. Thank you, Jason. Yes, we must keep the stream alive. So he goes, I am not the Kraken. Sidney Powell 1 is not the Kraken. The Kraken is located in several places. So it's good in case we want to go on a Kraken hunt. He's been smoking Kraken. I think we can all agree. Use all available methods to urge Donald Trump to immediately order release of documents filed under seal as national security in cases below have military seized documents. United States versus White. Let's see what this is. These are just his clients, more than likely. District for the Court of... Why would that be... Well, all right. From Casetext Smarter Legal Research. And if you subscribe now, you get 30% off of... all right. He up-tweets himself all the time. It's just weird. If someone seeks to destroy documents sealed as national security, they will now be successful or not? They will simply prove their complicity in heinous crimes. I think he meant not. There's a dead man switch. They cannot destroy the truth. There is no dead man switch because there is nothing there. For those of you that don't know what a dead man switch is, by the way, is that it comes from trains mainly, is that if the conductor's foot comes off the switch, the train stops. So that if the person dies, if the conductor dies and falls back out of his chair, the train doesn't just keep going. He doesn't have to shove anything to do it. It's just that. So, and there's dead man switches on saws and that kind of stuff. As a matter of fact, I wired a dead man switch to be used to for lighting on stage for 01 at one point. If you'll recall, some of you might have seen the shows where we had our own blast lighting for American Psycho. I rigged that so that we had a dead man switch so that you just stomp this thing, and as long as you hold it, the lights stay on, so we could time it. Yes, like in Silver Streak. That's exactly right. They put a brick on the dead man switch to keep it going. That's right. Cappy was silenced. No, he wasn't. He passed away. He died at his own hand. It's terrible to say horrible things like that about someone who's mentally ill. You're wrong. You're gross. Grow up. It's sad. Like, I don't know how in the world people can do that without feeling disgusting. How do you not feel disgusting about yourself? Like, the guy was clearly mentally ill. Man. Thank you, Lisa. Mi amor, bless you. So, anyways. Where is he? Okay, so one of my main goals with my tweets is to stimulate curiosity of my followers, which is, of course, means that he doesn't have any information. He just wants to lead you on. This is basically Lin Wood saying the Rudy Giuliani thing about now would be a good time to take a break. Right, so he can sell cigars and home title lock and crap like that. Let's see. Hold on. I'm getting ordered food. Yes, I would like food. Pick something for me. Summer's running. Summer just messaged me, and it showed up on there. Yes. So I think she'll probably poke her head in. I don't know that she heard me. Yeah. So is to stimulate curiosity of my followers. I always want them to look into my comments and reach their own conclusions by thinking for themselves. This is legalese, by the way, abdicating himself of responsibility for people like Cappy who end up killing themselves. It's not because Lin Wood. If the families of these people ever sue Lin Wood for leading their mentally ill family member down a path where they ultimately do themselves in, or worse, do someone else in, which there's absolutely opportunity for that to happen. This is Lin Wood is writing this stuff so that he can refer to it in court to protect himself. That's what assholes like this do. That's kind of what Trump did in the phone call. We already won it. We already let him. We already won it. I'm just saying. I only need 11,780 votes because we already won it. I just need one more than we have, but we already won it. By saying we already won it, he can say in court, I wasn't trying to get anything more than the votes I thought were there. I wasn't telling him to do something illegal. I was telling him to do something for me that would show that I had already legally, because that was my firm and concise belief. And so that's why he used that language. That's why Trump thinks he makes perfect phone calls, right? When he's like, it was a perfect call to Ukraine. Of course it was a perfect call. Why was it perfect? Because I said all the things I needed to say without legally threatening him. And I said, you can talk to Rudy. And then Rudy goes to Ukraine and tells him all the threatening, violent stuff. Yeah, the Atlanta prosecutor, Pack, resigning. Yes, just sent me a tweet on that. Okay, I will look into it. I might bring that up during the. I looked at the story about that earlier, but I might bring it up during the rally thing. Like I said, this one will be a short one, and we'll come back because he's supposed to be on at 6 o'clock my time, but I don't know if it'll be timed to that. If that's just when the rally starts. So this is all. I mean, this kind of like him taking pictures of his own screen going, interesting, I have received information today raising questions about the credibility of Timothy Holmseth. I do not know Holmseth. I received the link to the article from a trusted friend and posted it. I did not know Holmseth was the author. I can only leave credibility of content up to reader. So basically, he's disavowing stuff that he already sent out because this is what he does. I'm just putting it out there. Guys, you just make up your own minds. Of course, the stuff I'm just putting out there might lead some nutcase to either kill themselves or kill somebody else, but I'm just putting it out there. You know what I'm doing? I'm stimulating curiosity in the next Unabomber. That's what I'm doing. I'm just stimulating their curiosity. This is an intentional fomenting of violence by this dipshit. And again, his original client was killed by his current client's behavior. So, and this was the one that brought me up. This is the one that I really more than, we joke about this dickhead, but this is the one that's dangerous. So Jordy Fuchs works in the Secretary of State's office. He doesn't run the Georgia Secretary of State's office for the Secretary of State. He works in there. He's one of these. He's just staff, right? Wow. Jordy Fuchs, incompetent 30-year-old who runs the GASOS office for GA Secretary of State, has a sister named Eileen. Fraudulent Georgia 11-3 election and 1-5 runoff should be renamed the CCP Georgia Fraud Shows, produced by Jordy, Eileen, that's this girl, Brad, Jeff, and Brian, a.k.a. traitors. Now, we've already seen that Lin Wood, what he believes should happen to traitors. He's already threatened the vice president with a firing squad. He believes that's what he deserves. So understand that he believes that this woman, Eileen Fuchs, deserves to be killed because she's a traitor because of this dude's tweet. On January 11th, 2020, Chinese Consul General Huang Ping made a special trip to meet Eileen Fuchs in New York. What? A special trip? What? Wait, there's a Chinese government website that, what? Oh my gosh. So this is from the Consulate General of the People's Republic of China in New York. So the New York building, where they have a building in New York where they actually, because we interact with the Chinese a lot. By the way, I'm sure this guy shops at Walmart all the time and doesn't have a problem with it. So let's hear about this private meeting that he flew over just to meet with Eileen Fuchs, whose brother runs the office in Georgia, which clearly shows a tie. On the evening of January 11th, Ambassador Huang Ping, Consul General of the People's Republic of China in New York, made a special trip to Staten Island. Not Stanton, but okay. To visit and inspect the second New York City Winter Lantern Festival held in Snug Harbor Cultural Center and Botanical Garden. Li Yuan, cultural counselor of the Chinese Consulate General in New York, Quang Lin, director of the Chinese Tourism Office in New York, Edward Burke, deputy district governor of Staten Island, and Eileen Fuchs, general manager of the Wengang Botanical Garden. She runs the botanical garden there. He didn't fly over for he lives in New York. He works at the consulate. He walked outside. This was for a Chinese cultural event that they do every year in New York. Like Chinese New Year or any other. It's like friggin' gross. So there's the picture of Huang Ping with Burke and Fuchs in front of the lanterns. And then there's him talking and walking around, and then he's talking to Chinese vendors who make stuff, Chinese people, Chinese Americans who make traditional Chinese things for the Chinese community in New York and show off their arts and crafts. And then here's the light show, and there's the pavilion. And then they made remarks, and then they had a dude in a panda suit. And then there's a giant ice unicorn Pegasus, which, I mean, dial it back, folks. I mean, if you're going to mix your European mythology all together into one animal, it's just a little rude. I mean, first of all, this is base Roman Pegasus, and then the unicorn's Northern European, really. So, this unique light exhibition activities have aroused the American people's strong interest in Chinese culture and become a new highlight of New York's winter cultural tourism. But please tell me again, Lin Wood, how this woman, who's in pictures, and notice they cut the other people out to make it look like she's just there by themselves, right? That he flew over from a city he was already in to meet with this woman who runs a botanical garden where they had part of the event. And look at her face. You can tell she would destroy democracy just for a grant for some flowers. But this asshole, by the way, and Lin Wood, the above tweeting asshole, is endangering her life because he is calling her a traitor. And another, we've seen a bunch of these tweets from him about, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little worked up about this one. I try not to. But look at this. What's the sister's last name? Where does she live? Like, good God. Yeah, and there's a bunch of people in there going, did you notice that Ivanka got a bunch of trademarks in China? But this woman runs a flower shop, right? So here's, and where is it? There's where it was before this. Really wild, where, did he take it down? Maybe it's further down. Because he describes how it works. This is his whole belief system. Where's the blackmail scheme? Because this is kind of a good lord. Okay, so he retweeted his own stuff. That's why it's further down than I thought. Oh, look at that. Mike Pence in China. There you go. Look at him as vice president. You do realize that Trump, slowed our COVID response specifically to kiss the Chinese government's ass to finish his deal. And look at this. Look at this retweet. Federalist Society, the 5 times Mike Pence helped China steal American jobs. I'm sorry, did they just replace Pence's name with Biden's and just kind of throw these back and forth? So, I love the law. Look at this shit. Since you cannot trust communist propagandists of mainstream media to even give you the honest and weather forecast, I thought I would provide you with the next week's weather forecast map. Sure looks like a storm is headed our way. The storm is coming. Wizard Wigga. So I can't find it in here. It's still in here somewhere. Okay, I have said that I believe Chief Justice Roberts and a multitude of powerful individuals worldwide are being blackmailed in a horrendous scheme involving rape and murder of children captured on videotape. I have the key to the files containing the videos. I have also shared this information. I have the key to the files containing the videos. Why would you hold any of that back? Seriously. Why? What? If you knew any of that, if anybody, whether you like me and my show or you hate watch it, if you had, quote unquote, the keys to that kind of information, and we lived in the period that we have right now, which is beyond the dark web, 8chan, 4chan, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all these kind of things, where you could literally dump stuff online and it would stay there for about at least a minute before stuff started getting pulled down, no matter what it is, because they're always chasing this stuff. And people would scream cap the shit out of it, or you could upload an entire hard drive. Why would you hold back that stuff? Think about how awful that is. Think about what he's talking about there. Just the extraordinary nature of the bullshitting that is going on here right now. And what kind of a vile human being would you have to be to, quote, have the keys to the files containing the videos and not release it so as you would have leverage over John Roberts in case Trump's election goes to the Supreme Court? Because that's what this is about. Look at all this stuff. What is he arguing here? He is threatening the Supreme Court justice with the release of this information. Why is he not releasing it? If it was real, it would unbalance the court to the liberal side, because it would obviously take two of them down at the same time, because he said it about Kavanaugh as well. So both of them would go. Or it would be an even tie, and Trump would have no shot whatsoever. But it's technically leans conservative, so he is withholding. Can you imagine what a scumbag you would have to be to hold back evidence of that level of a crime because you might need it as leverage later to help your friend who wished Ghislaine Maxwell well and was friends with Jeffrey Epstein and talked about how he used to party with them in West Palm Beach and all, and had his pick of any lawyer in the country and chose Alan Dershowitz to represent him, who also knew Epstein, got a massage at the house, said the whole I left my underwear thing on. To protect that guy, you're really. This makes, okay. The blackmail targets are approached with a gun, a child, and a camera. The target is ordered to rape the child on video. The target is then ordered to shoot the child on video. The target is then owned and controlled by the blackmailers until blackmail evidence loses its value. Loses its value? What the? Think about typing that shit and putting it on the internet. Holy hell. This is Lin Wood. This is the baseline Lin Wood. This is him. And by the way, why there aren't a bunch of dead representatives, judges, cops, whomever, who have just gone, no, I'm not going to hurt that kid. I'm going to die taking the gun from you. What are you talking about? Yeah, somebody hands you a gun. Yeah, here. Like, can I use the gun while I do it? I'd love to do this. Oh, yeah, totally. I had no idea you were on the team. Give me the gun. Pow, pow. Come on, kid. Let's get the fuck out of here. Like, what are you talking about? What is that? And you have to understand that that's the guy who wants you to believe that Isaac Cappy was murdered because of this scheme. And he wants more Isaac Cappies to jump off bridges. Or worse, shoot up a mall or something. This guy was on the president's legal team. And again, we see a lot of stuff like this. Like, I watch a lot of TV shows. I watch a ton of real crime shows. I love The Blacklist. We've all watched Dexter. You watch these kind of shows and they have these kind of elaborate plots, but you understand them to be fiction and you go, yeah, it's within the context of this fiction. Right? Look at that. 600 already. Love you guys. Thanks for gathering. I'm like, but look at this. Imagine actually first of all, Lin Wood doesn't believe this. He doesn't believe that at all. It's garbage. He doesn't believe anything. He even said it in the further. I'm just trying to, open up, make people curious about stuff. They can look it up I'm not standing by what I write. I'm just saying you should think about it. What? Okay. And then he puts this shit out. Unbelievable. So when Lin Wood comes up, when we talk about him, and he's a clown, and it's embarrassing, and he's the one, he's partly responsible for the low turnout in the vote in Georgia. He really is. His little speech with Sidney Powell, remember that? Where he was like, unless Perdue and Loeffler come down here, they don't deserve your votes. They got to earn your vote. That whole thing where everybody was saying he's a psyop for the other side and all that kind of stuff. He's a clown, and he's mentally unstable. I don't know that I would call him mentally ill in that regard. It gives him too much credit, like there was a balance to it, like he went someplace else. That's nice. Proud Boy got arrested in there. That's cool. But in Portland, super. But he is arguing that not only that the blackmail targets participated in this stuff, and this played out. This is how they got Roberts, is his argument. Seriously. Oh, he hit 16K? Look at that. Thanks, guys. Thanks for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Thanks for subscribing on... And by the way, we have, I think, 700 on Twitch right now. Is that what it is? Like, again, considering in July we had 800. Beg your pardon. 819. Love you guys. Look at that. And almost 3,000. We're 50 shy of 3,000 followers. That's amazing. On Twitch. That's incredible. That's really great. Thank you, guys. Okay. Let's continue on this, though, because this is crucial. So he believes this is what happened to John Roberts. Chief Justice Roberts had this happen to him. I'm honest to God. And that he's been serving all this time under the blackmail. So every case that he's presided over was a function of this blackmail. So protecting DACA, gay marriage, those kind of things. So that's clearly the cabal holding this against him. Roberts isn't the only target. He's just the primary one he's breaking this down on. Thanks so much. So the target is then owned and controlled by the blackmailers until this is weird, until blackmail evidence loses its value. That part I don't quite understand. I don't know until the person does themselves in, till they jump off a bridge. Is that what you're saying? Or until they lose whatever power, or they're caught by someone else, and therefore, like, that part of it is anybody's guess. Yeah, he can absolutely sue for defamation, but he has to show that there's actual impact on him, and nobody's going to take this nonsense seriously up to that level. And by the time they do, it would be the U.S. government that would sue Lin Wood for endangering a chief justice and all the taxpayer dollars that go with it. But understand this. This is how Lin Wood believes this all played out. And there's half these assholes are bots. This is like... it's most of his feed is full of bots just fomenting this up and up and up. I've shared with several individuals the truth. I will be speaking to you. Killing me will not prevent the truth from being revealed. No, it won't, because you living doesn't reveal any truth either. It will only trigger its release by many others. So the dead man switch is on other people. Right? Is that what he's saying? Christ almighty. I asked real Donald Trump to immediately appoint an honest special prosecutor to pursue justice. I guess that would be Sidney Powell. Warning, our team members who live in Atlanta are being attached. I think they meant attacked, but okay. One team member's home took 5 shots through the windows in a drive-by, right through his daughter's bedroom window. The bias and hate must stop. The price for speaking the truth can be high. Ultimately, one's life and the lives of his or her family members can be at risk or lost. I ask for your prayers, Almighty God, to cover me, my family members, and close relatives with Psalms 91 protection. Criminy. As background to tweets I'm about to post, you should read this article carefully. I ask that you read each of my tweets carefully and decide if the information conveyed demands that patriots rise up so that every lie can be revealed. You mean the lies that will be the truth that will be only revealed if you die? Is this dude asking for his own followers to shoot him? This is so friggin' nuts. Good God, man. All right, it's 4 o'clock. I'm going to sign off now, and I'm going to come back in 2 hours when the Trump rally goes live. Because I mean, if I even start down this road of the victory thing, it's a half hour. That'll eat it up entirely. But for the record, these are the crowd that are aligned with Lin Wood. They're the softeners. They soften you for Lin Wood's story. So that's how all this stuff works, by the way. OAN, Newsmax, they're the extremes. Fox softens you to the idea. Well, if you just think about it, it could be, I don't think it's all that, but there could be something to it, and that kind of, and then Newsmax goes, well, there is something to it. I don't know if you've noticed that this little thing is happening. I don't know if it's true, and you don't know if it's true, but have you seen, Ellen Wood tweeted about this? Oh, he did. Is that a source of something? Oh, well, it kind of is. He said this. We don't know if we're completely behind it, and he won't admit if he's completely behind it, but but there is something if you really play with him, and Newsmax is like, it's true, or OAN's like, it's true. That's it. And then you find yourself like funneled into Q world. That's how it works. God damn, these people are nuts. You're like, well, a certain number of Americans don't
will
believe
not grow
this.
weary in our well-doing, will not lose heart, and we will stand.
Right. So for the record, that's Ellen Wood and all that crowd are part of the great softening of the heads of Republicans over time, and as you look at the dumbass dozen who are going against the certification of the electoral results on Wednesday, which will fail, fret not, watch it with bemusement. Feel free to tweet in anger all you want and let them know hurrah, but don't worry. But this is all a part of them softening the Republican Party and turning it into what they want. There was this thing about they read something about the Soviet Union. One of them read this quote like, "This is our plan: seize one of the major political parties." And they were doing it they were reading it from the point of view as a Republican that it was the Democrats who had been seized by the Soviets to turn them into a communist thing or whatever. And never mind the fact that the Soviet Union is gone. Communism is done. Nobody's looking for a Chinese system over here, especially, and they certainly aren't looking to the old Soviet system as the methodology. Nobody is. Nobody of merit. There's somebody on earth looking for everything. That's not the point. But there's nobody of merit is bothering with any of that stuff. But what's left over is the kleptocrats and the gangsters that run Russia now are, in operating that playbook said, well, the old Soviet system was never able to take a hold of the Democratic Party. But this new kleptocracy, this new gangster government thing, the Republicans seem really on board. So we should go after them. Hence, Mark Burnett comes back from Russia, offers Trump a show. They start talking about maybe you should run for president. And they start, building that whole piece up. It shouldn't come as anybody's surprise. Anyways, don't take what I'm saying seriously. Just, I just want curiosity in the minds of my listeners, whatever. Anyways, I will see you guys in about 2 hours for the live rally, and I will give it due diligence. I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for the support, and thank you guys for helping us hit 16,000 on the subscribers on YouTube. That's wonderful. Subscribers. I can speak. And I will see you in just a little bit. Okay, see you. Come back. Enjoy. Go have a bite to eat. Adore you. Bye.